Hey guys, it's Miss Clark. I just wanted to show you our next lesson for math, and it's for April 27th, 2020. And the lesson is called Measuring Length to the Nearest Half and Quarter Inch. And it says, I can determine the length of objects to the nearest half and quarter inch. Okay, so you're going to need some materials. You're going to need some scissors, your ruler that I sent you in your packet, a blue and yellow crayon. I'm not going to use a blue and yellow crayon, but I am going to use a pen to kind of mark out what I want. Okay, so let's get started. So our warm up, what is our strategy for determining fractions on a number line? Okay, so what I usually do is I have you guys, if you remember, you draw a box and you divide it into how many parts, and that's kind of like your fractions. So now it says identify the point on the number lines that are shown on the next slide. Okay, here we go. So what fraction does the number line show? You don't have to write this down. This is just something you can do in your head or out loud to whoever's sitting next to you, even your dog if you want. All right, so judging that this has 1, 2, 3, 4 parts, this would be 1/4. Okay, so if you got 1/4, give yourself a pat on the back. All right, next one. What fraction does the number line show? You can pause the video at any time. All right, this one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sections. So if you go 1, 2, 3, it's 3 out of 6, or 3/6. So if you got 3/6 as your fraction, give yourself another pat on the back. Good job. All right. What fraction does the number line show? This one should be a little bit easier. Okay, if you said 1/2, you are correct. Great job. Give yourself a pat on the back. So here's the application problem. John measures a piece of rope and says that it is 1/2 an inch long. Owen measures a piece of rope and says that his is 2/4 of an inch long. Who has the longer rope? Draw number lines to prove your thinking. Okay, so let me show you something real quick. All right, hopefully this will let me. Yeah, it's going to let me draw. That's awesome. All right, so remember the butterfly method that I taught you, or that Miss Foster taught you? So 1/2, 2/4. We're going to do what's called cross multiplying. So 1 times 4 is 4. 2 times 2 is 4. So which one is greater? Since it has 4s on either side, it is equal. Okay, so who had the longer rope? Neither one, because they were both equal. Okay, so we got that one. Let's see if it'll let me erase. Eraser, will it erase all that? All right. This is kind of like working on the smartboard. It'll probably erase it as one of my tools. Okay, good enough. All right, now let's go to the next slide. Let's see. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to cut out your ruler. Okay, so your ruler should look like this. Here's mine. It says 12 inches, and then it says by 1/2 inch. Okay, so that one is 12 inches by 1/2 inch. So that one is going to be divided into 1/2 inches. So go ahead and cut it out with your scissors. Now, here is our question. How is this like a number line? Okay, well, as you can see, it has whole inches or whole numbers. Now, looking at your ruler, how many inches are on a standard ruler? What's the highest number on there? Okay, if you said 12, you are correct. Why? Because it's being measured in what? Inches. So, 12 inches and 30 centimeters are the same. They are equivalent. Explore. So it says use the yellow crayon to highlight all your whole numbers. Watch me first. Okay. So I don't have a yellow crayon, but I'm going to use a pen. Okay. I don't know if you can see that or not, but looking right here, our first whole number is 1. So you're going to color it yellow. Color all the big numbers. I'm going to underline them. And if you don't have a yellow crayon, you're perfectly welcome to underline them too. Okay. Now, I wonder, let's see, focus mouse, pen. Wonder how I can, oops, that's not what I wanted to do. How I can make this bigger. Oh, perfect. Okay, so as you can see, here's my ruler, and I underlined all the main numbers. Oh, except for 0. That's important. Okay, so I did 0. So you should have either underlined them or colored them with yellow. I don't have a yellow crayon with me, so. All right, let's go back to the slide. Now, in the Explore section, it says, what are the tick marks between the whole numbers worth? Okay, so how do you know? All right, they are half inches. See, they are halves, like that. Okay, they are half inches. So your next task, remember, if I'm going too fast, you can always pause. It says, highlight all your tick marks between your whole numbers with a blue crayon, then label them as 1/2. Watch me first. Okay, so I'll go ahead and make this bigger. Okay, so I'm just gonna create a dark line of the halves, and then I'm gonna put a 1/2 in between, like this. I'm gonna color it dark and then put 1/2. Right there. Do you see that? Okay, now it's your turn. You're going to do all of those on your ruler. Okay, you can pause the video and fill those in. Or you can do it with a blue. Remember, I don't have a blue crayon with me, so I am marking mine. Excuse the noise. I wanted to label my ruler. Okay. All right. This is what mine looks like finished. If you're not at that point, you can pause it. Hopefully you guys can see that. So see, I put the fraction 1/2 in between. All right. Now, let's move on to the next step. It says, oh, we already did that. So now let's practice. I will use a magic marker. Watch how I can find its length, how I say it, and how I write it. Okay, so now, let's have a magic marker. I'm going to use an Expo marker. Let's do red. Red is very bright. Okay, so holding this up. Okay, so my Expo marker, we always start at what? 0. So if we hold it up, okay, let me lay it down flat. Okay, so according to my ruler, it is 5 inches long. about 5 inches long. Okay, so I'm going to write 5 inches. Right? Now, so I say 5 inches long. Now let's try a pen. So it says, make sure it is starting at the 0. How many whole inches is it? Are there any half inches? How should I write it and how should I say it? That's a lot of information. But let's start by measuring our pen. Okay, so I'm going to use the pen that I wrote with. Okay, so I'm going to start at 0. And I'm going to go all the way. Okay, I'm going to have to lay it flat. All right, so, interesting. So I'm starting at the 0. It says that I'm at 6 inches. I'm at 6. Like that. Do you see that? It's at the 6. I lined it up just like that. Now, let's look at our questions and see what they say. So make sure it's starting at the 0. Check. How many whole inches is it? 6. Are there any half inches? No, unfortunately, there are not. At least not with mine. How should I write it and how should I say it? Well, you would say, again, 6 inches. Okay, IN with a dot is short for inches. Okay, so now your turn. Get a glue stick from your work bag or from your house. Use your ruler to find the length of the glue stick. Write it on your whiteboard. Well, you wouldn't write it on your whiteboard, but I would say that you would probably write it somewhere on a piece of paper. It won't let me do that. Okay, it won't let me fix that. Okay, so now let's discuss what is the length of the glue stick and how do I write it? Okay, so I don't have a glue stick, but I'm sure it would be about half the size of my pen. So I'd say about maybe 3.5 inches. That's just my estimate, but you can tell me at our Google Meet what it was. So now it says put everything away except for your ruler, pencil, and the practice paper for today. Okay, so now you're going to complete your practice paper. Okay, so now this is what your paper looks like. It says April 22nd because we're a couple days behind. So it says measure to the nearest inch or nearest half inch. Okay, so you need to find this paper and go ahead and work on it. Okay, so go ahead and pause the video and start working on it. Use your ruler at home. All right, here's our exit ticket. We're also going to go over this in our Google Meets. It says, be ready to choose the letter that best matches the measurement of the picture below. So is it A, 6.5, B, 5.5, C, 4.5, or D, 7.5 inches from this side to this side of the popsicle? I will zoom in so you can see it. Okay, right there. So decide how long the popsicle is, and you can pause the video so you can see it better. So it's either A, B, C, or D. And we are going to go over the answer at our Google Meet today. Okay, so we'll stop there. And I will see you guys this afternoon. Bye.